husband, 29 meters, told me, 26F, that he cheated on me years ago. Now I can't let it go. Update, I appreciate all of the responses. I've wanted to post for a long time, but haven't because I knew it would sting. After reflecting on this situation and all of your input, I know I need help processing this alone with a therapist. I have reached out to someone that I found on my lunch break. Hopefully we get along better than the previous counselor we met. I am honestly embarrassed to type this. My husband John and I have been together for 6 years and married for 3 years, next week actually. We are happy, rarely argue, have an active romance life, etc. We have a 17-month-old little girl and she is perfect. The last 4.5 years have been great, besides one thing. John cheated on me years ago and I can't let it go. I don't mean that I bring it up regularly, or that I hold him to some unreachable standard. I just struggle with it on a personal level continuously. To give some backstory, we met when I was 20 and John was 23. He was in the military at the time and we had a long-distance relationship. We lived about 5 hours apart and he came to visit me every other weekend for about 8 months. We spent holidays together, I spent an enormous amount of time with his friends and family, and I eventually lost my virginity to him. I was head over heels for him, and I loved how he put so much effort into our relationship. Things were good other than the fact that John spent a lot of time with single guys in his unit. I always felt unsure when they would go downtown on the weekends. John and I weren't together. I never had a reason not to trust him. I was mostly concerned for his safety because they would drink and drink until they blacked out. Anyway, John was deploying for the first time and his unit had a 2-week-long training in another state. We spent the holidays together and he left for training immediately afterward. These seemingly small details are what really hurt. I am trying to keep this brief, so in a nutshell, John became very suspicious during the last week of his training. He deleted his social media accounts. He told me he was working strange hours and or going to bed at 7 p.m. He became snappy toward me for the first time ever. I had the most terrible feeling that something was wrong, to the point that I was physically ill for the entire week. During this time my grandpa was also deteriorating and actually passed away while John was gone. While this was all happening, John's friend and teammate Tim was posting pictures with a girl he had met during training. Tim and John shared a hotel room, so this obviously caught my attention. I looked at the girl's profile and learned that she was a waitress Tim met at the Hooters restaurant by the hotel. Her profile was public, and I could see that she frequently posted photos with another waitress, Amber. I'm sure you can guess Amber's significance. I questioned John multiple times about his behavior and he always apologized and essentially blamed everything on nerves about the upcoming deployment. Deep down I knew what was happening, but I guess I was young and well. I don't know. I thought I needed proof, or that it would hurt more to leave. John came home from training and we both pretended like nothing happened. He was leaving for Afghanistan the next month and we spent that last month together. He made certain comments about training that further confirmed my suspicions. There was a knot in my stomach that I chose to ignore. Fast forward and John came home from Afghanistan. I graduated college, and I ended up moving to his city, got my own apartment and started my career. We were finally living in the same city and we became very close. He started choosing to spend weekends with me at my apartment instead of going downtown to drink with friends. I supported him through PTSD and the anxiety, sadness and medication that came with his diagnosis. We were inseparable. He eventually surprised me, proposed, and we got married 8 months later. We were newlyweds and had been married for about 3 months when we attended church like any regular Sunday. I was surprised when after the sermon, he burst into tears as soon as we got back to the car. He confessed, 3 years after the fact, that he had cheated on me during pre-deployment training. I asked what her name was. It was in fact the waitress Amber. Talk about gut feelings. I'm not sure if it was the right thing to do, but I reached out to Amber and she confirmed his story. She told me that they spent that entire week together, and she had no idea I had even existed. She told me they stopped talking at the end of that week because she met someone else. After his confession, John suggested couples counseling and he set up an appointment with a therapist. I didn't find it very beneficial. She asked a few questions and essentially told me that I need to let this go if I want to stay in this marriage. I want to let it go, but I don't know how. I think about it frequently and it tears me apart. I've always been considered attractive by my peers, but I don't feel that way anymore. I know this is absolutely counterproductive, but I still look at the Amber's social media accounts. I am petite and cute, she is tall and sexy, and it kills me. I don't know what to do. John is a very good husband to me and I love him. He is affectionate, encouraging, and has changed his life, friends, habits, career, for the better. We have an open password policy, but I haven't felt the need to use it since he came back from Afghanistan. He is a great dad. I just don't know how to move past this, or how to feel better about myself again. I feel silly that this still has a hold on me considering it happened 5 years ago. TL, Doctor, my husband cheated on me while we were dating, and I can't let it go. Hi guys, I promise to love you if you like, comment, and subscribe. You need a better counselor. No counselor in his or her right mind would counsel a patient to ignore a festering wound. Please give it another try, with an individual therapist first, then add in your husband. I understand this hurts, and the reason it still hurts is your husband had 3.5 years to process his guilt before confessing, while your shock is still fairly new. I've been considering an individual therapist. I'll try to find someone during my break today. If all that therapist did was advise you to let it go, they're not very good at their job. What has your husband does to help you let it go? Did he apologize after he came clean? Has he asked what he can do to make it up to you and help you feel secure again? Or is he just trying to gloss over it all so he doesn't have to feel any discomfort? Yes, he apologized profusely. He encouraged me to attend therapy sessions with him and he also set up said sessions. He has willingly answered all of my questions about their time together, and we share passwords and access to each other's devices. I feel like he genuinely wants to own up to his poor decisions. I guess I just need help moving forward. Me, 35M, with my girlfriend, 28F, for 3 months, slept with my best friend also 35M. We went out Thursday night and got really messed up at the bar. After we went to the casino and they ducked in the bathroom. She came to me the next day crying and confessed to everything according to her. My friend still hasn't admitted to it and I haven't seen him since. Our whole thing from the start was honesty. We both agreed whatever we did we would be honest and give the other person the option on staying or leaving. I really wouldn't have cared as much if she didn't duck my best friend in a bathroom while I was there. She keeps telling me how ducked up we all were, we really were, and wants to stay with me and work it out. I am extremely grateful for her honesty and still want to work it out as well. This is the problem. Since this happened, I have not physically been able to have romance with her. Every time she will instigate romance I want to, but all I can think of is her getting nailed in a casino bathroom. This is a problem I couldn't have seen coming when I agreed to stay with her and I'm worried it will never go away. This has happened 2 times already and it's obviously something that is a huge problem. Our romance life was great up until this BTW. I have caught an ex of mine cheating before and didn't have this problem years ago. My current girl came clean and confessed to me. I know how intoxicated we all were, but this time it hurt much worse. Has anyone experienced something similar to this and what was your outcome? Is my relationship over despite both of us wanting to work it out? It feels like I'm holding on because I thought I loved her, but here I am wide awake at 4 a.m. asking Reddit for advice. Obviously no one knows what I need/want to do more than I do, but I will take any advice. Thanks for reading this and thanks in advance for your advice too. TL, Doctor, girlfriend of 3 months cheated with my best friend Thursday after night of heavy drinking and came clean the next day. Since then I haven't been able to have romance with her and am worried that we can't work things out. Has anyone had a similar experience and what ended up happening? 3 months in? That's pathetic. Sounds like a regular pattern for her. Expect this to happen a lot. I've had women I wasn't exclusive with stay more faithful than that. She is not a keeper, move on. So this happened while you were there? At the same place? What, did she come find you afterwards or wait till the morning to tell you? Yes, we all were there together and rode back together. She didn't tell me until the next day. Found my wife of 15 years in bed with my bestie of 30. Yeah, there was a lot to lose in there, but in the end I dumped them both. It shattered whole circles of friendships in ways I'm not recovered from 2 years out. Maybe never will be. I agree with others. Your situation isn't headed anywhere good. I'd end it. I did end it today. It wasn't fun, but it had to be done. Thank you for sharing your story.